I'm willing, yes, to run on all the way. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. To Jesus Christ, our elder brother, to the pastor of this great and marvelous church, and to you, my brethren and sisters in Christ. It is indeed joy and honor to be before you. And if you may stand for the hearing of God's word found in Luke the 6th chapter, starting at the 6th verse, and if you have it, say amen. If not, say hold on. Luke the 6th chapter and the 6th verse. For those who are still trying to walk this thing out, Luke comes right after Mark, and it is before John. Mark comes right after Matthew, and in my Bible, Matthew comes right after a little piece of paper that says the New Testament of Jesus Christ. That might not help you none, but that's in my Bible. You get that on the way out. If you have it with me, say amen. And the reason now it happened on another Sabbath, also that he entered the synagogue and taught, and a man was there with a right hand was withered. And so the scribes and Pharisees watched him closely, rather he would heal on the Sabbath, and that he might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts and said to the man who had the withered hand, arise and stand here. And he rose and stood. And then Jesus said to them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy? And when he had looked around at them all, he said to the man, stretch out your hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored as whole as the other. You may be seated. For those who love a Christian Central title to everything, you can turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, just because you have a bad hand doesn't mean it's a losing hand. Turn over to your other neighbor and say, neighbor, the preacher is trying to tell you that just because you have a bad hand does not mean you have a losing hand. And if you help me preach this here, I'll be done like the pastor want me in 25 minutes. But if not, then I'm going to preach it like I know I can. In life, you may find yourself with a bad hand.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
My Lord.
If you have ever gambled in your life or played cards or just lived life itself, you will know that sometimes you have some bad days and you have some good days. I believe a writer had penned that in a song once, and I don't know if you really want to be true with me. If you have really had some bad situations in your life, sometimes it felt overwhelming. You may have felt like you wanted to give up. You may have felt that you wanted to throw in the towel. You wanted to fold. Before you were able to see if your partner have another play. Because most games you can't play by yourself, even though you may think you play solitaire by yourself. When you really want to play the game, you can't play games by yourself. And if you are playing games with yourself, then that's another sermon for another day. But I just wanted to come here to let somebody know, have you ever had a bad hand? The writer in the text tells us that something went down in the church house and Jesus was there. He was teaching, and there was a man who had a right hand.
Yes.
But it was withered. It was dried up, it had shriveled up, it had strength from the other hand. And sometimes in your life, what you begin to do is that you begin to complain, because the Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes that some folks say, I wish that we could live in the former days, and King Solomon said that that's not wise, because we have sometimes in our life, what we begin to do is that we begin to compare our good hand with our bad hand. Come on, don't fool me now. You had a good relationship, now you messed up and have a bad relationship. You used to have good health, but now you got bad health. You used to have been able to be on the top, but now you're at the bottom. If somebody can really help me out here, somebody had a bad hand and a good hand, but it seemed like in our lives the only focus that we seem to have is to compare our good hand with our bad hand and say, why can't you be like your good hand? If you want to be honest, maybe everybody that got a right hand, raise your hand in the room. Everybody that's right-handed. Now put them down. Everybody that got a left hand, raise it up in the room. You see, there ain't nothing wrong with you. Right. You just ain't right. Amen. And so how do you live in a right-handed world with a bad right hand? I'm so glad you asked the preacher tonight. Because Kenny Rogers wrote a song saying you need to know when to hold it. You need to know when to fold it. You never count your money at the table. But they'll be counting when the dealing is done. But sometimes in our life, even before the dealing is done, when we just sneak a peek at our hand and see that we do not have the essential ingredients to what it seems to be a good hand, we seem to lose hope. But there is beauty in the significance of the text, because unlike some folk, this one man here in the text, he realized that even though that he had a bad hand, found his way at the church house. You see, there's something in that somebody had already missed, because no matter what you are going through in life, if you are sick and you are in your dark and most dismal moments, you need to find yourself at church. Bills need to be paid. Find yourself at church. Your children acting on your nerves. Find yourself at church. Your mind need to be regulated. Find yourself at church. Your heart got issues on it. Find your way at church. You sick body waking with pain. You can find your way at church. Tired of these phony Christians saying that, oh yeah, I can do God. I can do all things through Christ and strengthen me. Then why ain't you behind that church? Many of times I came up in this pulpit, I came up in the church house sick with the flu. And I came in here with all healing power. By the time I walked out, I was sick. But when I came inside the church house, I came sick, but I didn't leave out. Somebody should high five your neighbor and say, neighbor, you ought to go to church. No matter what your situation may be, no matter if you may be feeling with frustration and failure and doubts in your life, no matter what may happen, you can find yourself at church. Because the withered man said in this text that no matter what he was going through, he found himself in the church house. How many of us, we dealing with the issues of life, we dealing with stagnated things in our life. We have a moment in our life that is not moving. We have a hand in our life that we seem like we can't play, but yet we don't find ourselves in the church house. Talk to me if you want to. I'm going to preach this thing like I'm feeling here tonight, because we got too many phony Christians. The reason I have to say that, preacher, because the first century church didn't call themselves Christians. It wasn't until they got into Antioch that people called them Christians, because they were Christ-like. But the first century church said that I'm simply on the way. That means even though I may fail, Lord knows I don't want you to get a false image that I'm trying to be like Christ. But I'm David, let me know I ain't him. But while I'm trying to be like him, just let you know I'm on the way. See, some of y'all missed that because y'all too busy trying to be Jesus' first cousin, forgot his middle name, trying to be too blessed to be stressed, trying to be too anointed to be my Lord. If you look at the text here, sometimes you just got to realize in your life, Lord, just let me walk it off. I feel my first sermon creeping up on me, because I had to preach that to my church. I had to let them know in Galatians that sometimes you just got to walk it out. He said to tread around in the spirit, y'all. That Greek word and walk in that context in Galatians, the 5th chapter and the 13th verse, he says, walk in the spirit and you will not fulfill the lust of your flesh. That key word walk in the Greek means to tread around in. It means you need to live in it. It doesn't mean I walk from this pulpit to that back door. It means I need to live in it. My P.O. box should be spirit. My praise should be spirit. My talk should be spirit. My life should be spirit. And if I tread around in the spirit, then I won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. What is the lust of the flesh? The lust of the flesh is simply like this. He puts it in and he says that lust, that key word lust is a verb. It means to bend for long desires. And he says if you were to walk around in the spirit, that means you will not fulfill. You won't bend over. You won't try to achieve the long desires of your flesh. I didn't want to preach that, but somebody, that might be their message. That's just my commercial broadcast for you. Walk in the spirit. You might not get that at a bookstore, so I have to get that to you fresh. I won't charge you for it. But the text says right here, he walked his way to church. That's right. That's right. How do you find it funny that sometimes in our life we feel like we can't go to church because the key word, after you figure out the man with the withered hand, it said that there were some watching hypocrites. That's right. That's right. That's right. And if I were to be honest with you, the reason why some people don't come to church when they're down and out is because they are tired of people trying to sweep around their porch. But if you can be honest with me here, it's not only in the church house where there's hypocrites. My Lord, you go to the mall and they there. You go to church, they there. You go to work, they there. And if you be honest with me, if you go home tonight, somebody is there. And if I was able to say, if I've been here as long as the church been here, I might have been able to point out a few people in here because the text said that they were watching. Sometimes I be behind that organ, and sometimes the only thing that I just want to say, Pastor, is thank you for watching. Because you got some folk in the church house, they don't come to praise God. They don't come here to lift up his name. They don't come to be healed and set free. They don't come to be delivered, but they come just to watch. And so the text tells me how you know you a hypocrite. Well, look out to your neighbor and say, are you watching? The preacher want to tell you, thank you for watching. My Lord. Because we must understand some things here that when I come to church, y'all, right, even though I got people watching me, even though I got haters that just came from the hater convention with their cap and mug and sipping on their haterade straight off of the haterade bus. Anybody that ever been in a situation, it doesn't matter what the haters are around you, somebody should still find their way. Right. See, the Lord want me to stay there right there because there's some people in this not here right now. Oh, my back is out. Come on to the healing world. Come on to the altar right here where you can be healed and set free and delivered. Not everybody is a chiropractor, but I believe once I get through praying, the fervent prayers of it. I'm glad somebody got a word up in here. Because some of us, we spend too much time not realizing that we got to be at church. I'm going to drop another one you probably ain't going to get at the Bible bookstore. Did you ever know that every new day in God begins at night? All right. Yes. All right. By God's standards, if you look in Genesis, it says the evening and the morning. That's right. Was a new day. And if you need some more explanation, he said that you are a seed. A seed do not grow in the light. The seed grows in the And so whenever you think that it's not a new day, just wait until 6 o'clock when the sun goes out. And say, Lord, I thank you for a brand new day. Why? Because But even though it may not look like a brand new day, because you're in a dark situation, that's why God said you must be the light of the world. But just know what David said. He said, God's anger lasts for a moment.
Amen.
But his favor lasts forever.
That's right.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Let me tell you right there, let me pause and put a pin in it, because most preachers preach this thing wrong. He thinks that you're crying tears of sorrow, you're crying tears of pain, but he just said that my Lord anger lasts for a moment.
Amen.
That means he was being chastised.
That's right.
Maybe your bad hand is just so you can be chastised. Maybe God got to take you from working at Burger King so he can have you working as a king. Oh, my Lord, don't make me work here. Don't make me do it here tonight. Maybe sometimes God has to take you from one bad relationship. Tell somebody to say, get you something, pat it to a bag to the left, everything you own in the box. I'm glad I'm at church, y'all, but I still got some saints, and I still got some ain'ts, and I still got some seekers, and I still got some sinners. But either way, if you're up in here, and I mean up in here, can I say it just like every good preacher say, up in here, somebody should be able to say that I'm still going to praise the Lord. David now said, this is just my little broadcast. I'm going to give it to you because you can't get to that Bible bookstore. So I got to give it to you now. Your new day start at night. But your tears that you cry in your night season should not reflect what happened yesterday.
Amen. Tell it.
Your tears should reflect how you're going to be seeing joy in the morning. You should be able to praise your way until that sunshine comes and you know that your side joy comes in the morning. Let me work in here. That was just for you. I'm going to take my pen out. Y'all ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready for the truth. Y'all ain't ready for the truth yet. I'm going to take my pen out. And so this man, with his withered hand, his bad situation, he was stunted. He could not grow. He'd been living with insecurities. He'd been living how to function with a dysfunctional hand. I read a book, says grandparents are grandchildren of addicts. Not realizing that when you have an addict in your house, people change to fit the atmosphere of the addict. And even though that the addict gets saved or the addict gets delivered, there's still the dysfunction in the house because you were living with something that you didn't want to approach. And some of us, we may be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, but there are some lingering effects from being down so long, bound and so sometimes we can't understand when Paul says if you got the Spirit in you, that means you're free. Amen. You see, you too busy being bound by your bad hand. You too busy trying to say, oh Lord, break every chain, break every chain. The Bible says I don't need to break every chain. You're free.
That's right.
Tired of these bad pastors and preachers coming up in here talking about, oh no, the devil trying to hit you. And if the devil trying to hit you, then why did God say it's finished?
Right.
It got quiet just like that. If he finished it and Paul declared it, said if you get my spirit, you'll be free, that means I already know it's finished and I'm free. It's so simple you need somebody to confuse you, ain't it? The Bible is trying to tell us something. Stop living like an addict. And then once you stop living like an addict, kill the spirit of the addict in your house. Oh, I feel like preaching that. I feel like preaching it, but the Lord ain't. I'm trying to talk about the withered hand. I'm trying to preach about the withered hand. Woo! Jesus. This man. Watch the text here. He says he come to church with a withered hand. He come to church with his infirmities. He come to church with his stagnations. He come to church with a growth deficiency. He comes to church.
Amen.
And in the midst of being in church, you got some people that just want to watch you.
Right.
You're going to have some people that are going to talk about you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I can preach that myself too.
Right.
And he says, Jesus. Jesus was teaching in the synagogue.
Yes.
But he seen everybody focus on the man.
Yeah.
Read the text here. He was teaching. But all of a sudden, when everybody was watching the man, now, since you want to watch him, let me put him on the stage. He says, stand forth.
Amen.
All right. All right.
But Lord, I'm weak, stand forth.
Yes.
Lord, I went to the club yesterday, stand forth.
Yeah.
Lord, I may be dealing with some bad desires, stand forth. Lord, I got insecurities, stand up. Lord,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
they said I would never be nothing, stand forth. Lord,
Yes. Touch God. Yes.
they don't love me, stand.
Yes. 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 All right. Yes. All right. Yes.
You see, the reason I can be happy about standing forth because the Bible tells me that he will prepare a table before me.
Come on, preacher.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In the presence. Yes, sir.
You
Yes.
see, you wonder why God didn't take you from some folk in your life. And because God wants you to be the light in their world. And so when it's time for you to eat at the table with them, you know, you just be cutting the yard one day and then somebody want to drive up and say, oh, you got a new job. Whose house is that? That's mine. You want to get a new car one day. Some people, they see you walking, and when you were walking, they couldn't help you out. And then they're just going to see you driving, you're going to be right up on the tree, you're going to pull up on you. And some of y'all got one of them, and then some of y'all you push that button, you're going to roll down the button. How you doing, sister? Oh, whose car is that? The Lord is good.
Amen. Amen.
God, y'all come on, help me work this thing here. God is going to put some people in your life so that when the time is over,
Yeah. All right.
they're going to be asking you how did you get over? Woo, I can preach that all by itself, but I'm getting through here. He says to the man, stand forth.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
I came here to let the church know that no matter what you're going through, you ought to go to church.
Amen.
And when you get inside the church house, don't worry when your sin is shown. Because the Bible says he hung around the sinners, but he didn't hang around the hypocrites. And so just because you may come here and you may have been fallen, you know what the Bible says, a righteous man fall what 7 times and get back.
Amen. Amen.
Maybe that was somebody's message right there. Let me preach it on this side. The Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times and get back up.
That's right.
Yes.
So you may ask me how to get righteous. Keep falling.
Yeah. All right.
Amen.
Keep walking this thing out, but Lord have mercy. But the Bible says,
Yes.
see, when you love him, you can just preach everything. You can preach Zan.
Amen.
Hey, Lord have mercy.
Yes.
He said that he went to church and God pointed him out and said, stand forth.
Yes.
As in the midst of a crowd, can you realize that you picture in your bad hand? You sitting at the table. Lord have mercy, I won't get on my pastor, but you're sitting at the table, dog. And they're dealing out the cards. 42 cards without the big joker and the little joker. I didn't learn this on the internet. I know something. If you had more hearts, because you got to realize you can't talk across the table.
Amen.
And so if you had more hearts in your hand, you put your hand together.
Right.
If you had more spades, then what you do, you act like you're digging. If you have diamonds,
Come on.
you just let them shine.
Amen.
If you have more clubs, you just walk from side to side. So you won't talk. So you won't talk across the table. And so if I'm just telling y'all, because if I was to put David's point of view, David said that he'll put a table in the presence of my enemies, so I assume that all my enemies is playing too. Right. And so I don't want them to know my plan, and so I'm telling my partner what I got. And my partner sees that I have a bad hand because I didn't dig. I didn't let my diamonds show. I didn't rock side to side. But I'm letting him know about me doing nothing. David also penned something that says, be still. Since I'm doing nothing, he sees that I have a bad hand.
Right.
And it says that Jesus, knowing that I got a bad hand,
Amen.
was able to look at this man and tell him to stand forth.
Amen.
Stand forth. And he says then, while you got a bad hand and while I'm going to put you on Front Street, I want everybody to look at it. So he says, stretch and keep on stretching.
All right.
My word for you tonight is to stretch
Yeah.
and keep on stretching.
Yeah.
Even though that you may have a bad hand, you ought to stretch the hand that you got.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Even though that my health may be failing, that's a bad hand.
Amen.
Even though that my children may be getting on my nerves,
Right.
that's a bad hand. Even though I may be in a dysfunctional family,
Yeah.
that's a bad hand. Even though I may have a divorce where I have left or been left out of, that's a bad hand. No matter what your bad hand may be,
Yeah.
you should not fold your hand, but wait until you see your partner
Amen.
Come on.
got another plate. Do I have people in the house tonight?
Yeah.
Because the Bible tells me no matter what hand that I have, that I always stretch it and keep on stretching.
Come on. Say it.
I came to stop by to let somebody here know that no matter what type of hand you got,
Yeah.
you ought to keep on stretching.
Yes.
Amen.
I'm going to keep on stretching even though that I'm looking to have peace.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep on stretching even though people may not love me. I'm going to keep on stretching even though that I may have grown up in a dysfunctional family. I'm going to keep on stretching even though sometimes I feel like I have lost my natural mind. I'm going to keep on stretching even though my heart may get a little bit worried. I'm going to keep on stretching even though it seems like my family need to get back together. I'm going to keep on stretching even though it seems like my health is failing me. Is there anybody in here that's going to high-five their neighbor and tell their neighbor, I'm going to keep on stretching. It may not look like what it ought to be, but I'm so glad I don't look like what I used to be. And somebody should be able in here today and say, Lord, I'm going to keep on.
Come on, preacher.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jesus.
And while I come to the conclusion of this message,
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
I want to encourage you by something that has been encouraging me.
Amen.
Paul was able to encourage himself while yet he was bound in physical prison.
Yes, sir.
Wrote a letter to the Philippians church. And on that letter he said that I have not apprehended this. But one thing I want to let you know,
Come on, preacher.
that in whatever state that I may be in,
Yeah.
I've learned to be content.
Amen.
And I just wanted to stop by here on this Sunday morning to let somebody know that may be going through problems and frustration because they got a bad hand, to realize that no matter what you may be going through, all you have to do is stretch it out. Yes, it may show my insecurities. But high five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm able to stretch out.
Come on.
And so I want to just encourage you tonight, because Paul was able to say that even though that I was able to be content in whatever situation that I'm in, he don't stop there.
Come on.
He goes on a little bit later and says, but I can do all things.
Amen. Come on.
And if I was to say it like every great Baptist preacher, they'll say it 3 times. I can, and I can say it one more time. I can.
Yeah.
Do all things
Amen.
through Christ who strengthens me. Is there anybody in here who knows who your partner is? Is there anybody in here who knows who your partner is? The Bible tells me that he was Adam's redeemer. He was Abraham's sacrifice. He was Joseph's dream come true. Does anybody know who your partner is? The Bible tells me that he was the Israelites' bridge over troubled waters. Do I have a witness here? Is there anybody in here that knows who their partner is in the room? Somebody said that he was the source of Samson's power. He was the sweet melodies of David's songs. He was the archive of Solomon's wisdom. He was the balm in Gilead for Jeremiah. He was Isaiah, the wonderful counselor. He was Matthew, sovereign king. He was Mark, suffering servant. He was Luke, reigning physician. He was John, word became flesh. He was Jude, he is the one that able to keep me from falling. And was in me falling before the fall of God. Is there anybody in here that knows who your partner is? Is there anybody in here that I can give a witness for?
Come on, preacher.
Because the Bible tells me that he can be my all and all. And if I was to drop down the lane to tell you what my grandmother used to say, he said it used to be a bridge over troubled waters. It used to be bread when I'm hungry. Do I have a witness here? Oh Lord, he flows on my back. He's my mind regulator. He's my heart fixer. Is there anybody that's up in here that is able to say, I know who my partner is? And then my partner is telling me, even when I don't have a play, not to fold my hand, but all I gotta do is I don't have to give up, because he promised me that he'll never leave me nor forsake me. But all I have to do, do you know who your partner is? Tell your neighbor and say, neighbor, keep on stretching. Tell your neighbor, keep on stretching. It may get hard. You may feel like giving up. But the Bible tells me, do not grow weary in well doing. You see, it seems like we got some hypocrites in here. Because the Bible said it was watching. Some people just watching me today when you should be praising your way through.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Because somebody is about to go through something. I'm not a prophet, so I can't tell you who. But somebody is going to go through something this week. Or somebody been dealing with a pain and an ailment in their body. And all they got to do is just...
Yes, sir.
I come to the end. I come to the end to let you know that you ought to stretch your situation.
Amen.
Do you believe that today?
Amen.
Do you believe that today?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm tired of hearing saints, God's children, even speak over. You see, you can't get this at a Bible bookstore. I know we talked about this in my review, Mother Hall, for Sunday school. You know where Eve had slipped at? When she began to think that she was lower than what God had made her. The Bible said that Satan came and deceived her and said, if you eat of the fruit, that you will be like God. If you are his children, I'm glad. And I mean, I'm glad one more time I got some true folk in here that read their Bible. You see, you come short when you begin to think lesser than yourself, because the Bible says, where do wars come from among you? He said, because when you ask, you don't receive. Because when you pray amiss, because you pray seeking for your own desire. But if you pray not trying to be a blessing, but trying to be a storehouse so that you can bless others,
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
then you will get a blessing. If you don't know where that's at, that's in James, the 4th chapter. You can read it in its entirety and you will get the whole conclusion of the matter.
Right.
But you got to understand this. The reason why we war, the reason why we are not where we used to be. I'm just gonna do one more sermon, then can I do prayer? That's okay. Look at this. Jesus was in Tyre and Sidon. The Bible says that he was hiding. He didn't want to be seen, right? Catch this by the Holy Ghost. Tyre and Sidon in the Greek means a rock in a hard place. So let's plug this in. Jesus went to a rock and a hard place, was hiding between a rock and a hard place. And when a woman came from a rock and a hard place to ask Jesus, who was hiding in a rock and a hard place, can he bless my daughter? See, she was trying to get Jesus' attention so much that some hypocrites, 12 disciples, want to say, Jesus, get this woman away from here because she is causing confusion. She's begging for us. But nowhere in the text that it said that she was called Peter. She called Matthew. She called Simon, Philip, Bartholomew. She didn't call none of them. She called Jesus.
Yes.
Look at Jesus' response. He says that I did not come for you, for it's not meat enough to give the dogs food. I can preach that by itself, but I said of the woman responding to Jesus' insignificance or Jesus' insensitive behavior about blessing, she said this. Because she probably had a dog in her house.
Amen.
She said, but even the dogs eat the crumbs
Come on.
that falls from the master's
Yes,
hand.
sir.
Yeah.
Even though you may not have a good hand, but long as you is able to say, Lord, no matter what hand you bless me with,
Amen.
I'm going to work it out.
Amen.
Even, Lord, if I have to be a crumb snatcher. See, this word is for the desperate now. I already preach y'all have to. This word is for the desperate now. Even if you have to be a crumb snatcher, how far will you go to say, Lord, I ain't going to turn in the towel, but because my faith in you, and knowing that it says in the word of God that in order for me to come to God, I must believe that he is a rewarder of those
Amen.
who diligently seek him. Amen. And so I know, Lord, long if I walk this thing out, it doesn't matter what hand I got now.
Yes, sir.
But he says in his word, if I stretch it out,
Yes, Lord.
I'll be made whole. But catch this at the end part of this verse, or the end point of this whole story, it says that even the hypocrites, they stayed mad. Here, let me tell you something right quick, and I want to pray for those who really are hungry and pray for those who desire to come unto God's body. Understand this, that even in the midst of you being blessed, or even in the midst of you trying to be blessed, don't get the limit or distracted when you have haters before and haters afterwards. Because the conclusion of the matter is what? Haters gonna hate.
Amen.
And so they should not depict what your praise. Amen.